Hey stamping friends, it's Sherry Parker coming to you live on Wednesday, January 29th. I'm in Mason, Ohio. I'm a demonstrator here. I've been a demonstrator for 27 years, long time, almost half my life. And I'm glad you could join me tonight. I've got two cute cards to make for you tonight using the new terrific Toadstools bundle. So I'll be showing you those in just a minute, but I did want to mention just a few dates real quick before we get started. So February 4th, if you want to jot that date down, Stampin' Up! Will be issuing some additional celebration items, and the celebration catalog, the one that has been active through the month of January, looks like this, but they will be adding some other items on February 4th. So stay tuned for that. And then on February 17th, which is President's Day, I'll be having my second Mystery Hostess Night. We had one in January. It was a lot of fun. You have to register. It's $10, and that will cover all the projects that you make that night. There will be 3 or 4. If you place a $30 or more order, you get your $10 back. So any way you look at it, it's a win, and you'll make some fun projects too. And then last, on February 22nd, Susie Brunk and I will be having our annual celebration stamp camp. So I hope you are thinking about joining us. If you are, you might want to register soon. We're getting rather full. I think we have a few spots left, but it is going to be filled up here really soon. So let us know if you're interested. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera over and we'll get started. All right, I alluded to what we're doing tonight. We're going to be using this fun, terrific Toadstools bundle. It's in the spring mini catalog, and it's a great, fun set. Comes with a punch, and there's also some coordinating celebration paper that coordinates with it, and that is on page 8 in the celebration catalog. It's called Toadstool Gardens. Great colors. It looks like this. You can see I've been using it a ton. And if you're not really a toadstool person, which I have to say I'm really not. Hey, Donna, thanks for watching. The cool thing about this paper is that there's a lot of other patterns. The colors are very fun, vibrant, real bright. So if you like stripes, polka dots, you can use those sides of the paper. You don't necessarily have to use the toadstools if that is not your thing. But here is the stamp set, really cute, and the punch looks like this that coordinates with it. So we'll use this tonight for both of the cards that we're making. Okay, the first card looks like this. Very simple card, and we will stamp the toadstools, punch them out, and then we have some other fun effects for the background. So we'll get started. One of the first things I wanted to, a little tip, if you don't already know this, if you have a punch that looks like this, hey Michelle, I know it's really fun, done some fun stuff with it. If it has multiple things on it and you maybe want to stamp them and punch them out at the same time, a really fun trick is you would go ahead and then just punch this in paper. So it'd look like this, okay? And then what you would do is put the coordinating stamp into that spot. So pretend if it was loose, you would just put the piece, the photopolymer, and then stick your block on top. So that way, that's what I did here. I've got both of those toadstools. I can stamp it once, punch it once, and it's a lot more efficient. So that is my little tip for you if you didn't already know that. Really easy to do. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and ink this up with Melon Mambo ink and stamp it here on a piece of scrap paper. Clean it off for our next card that uses completely different colors. And then I'm gonna punch it out like I was showing you. So I turn it over, line it up, place it inside, and you can see how it lines up perfectly. So that is a great way to do that. You'll notice here there's an additional punch, and that's for the stem. I wasn't going to punch that in white, but what I will do is I've got a piece of scrap paper here, and it's perfect to run something really narrow like this. That way you're not wasting a lot of paper. So you just punch that, and you've got your stems. So those are all the pieces that we need to punch out. So we'll set those up here. Then you'll notice on our card too, we have some other cool things. So we're using Melon Mambo cardstock as our card base. And hey, Michelle Peck, thanks for joining. It's a half sheet of cardstock, so 8.5 by 5.5, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. That's our card base. And then for the front of the card, I simply took a white piece of cardstock and I ran it through the exposed brick 3D folder. And on this card, I'm using that for the background. And then for this tag, I'm using the wonderful Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder. This is a really great one. So I did go ahead and do that. So this has that texture. And we will adhere that to the front of our card. Like so. And then we'll really start assembling it. So a really great die cut set. This came during the holidays. It's called Greeting of the Seasons, the dies. These are still available online. Hey Joyce, thanks for joining. And I love these. They have a hole that's already there, so it can be a tag for anything. And this is a really great size here. And we're gonna use that for the background of our card. So I picked from this great pack of paper, the print that had some of the toadstools, and I cut it out with this die. So that's all I did here. And then I cut another piece using the soft seafoam, and then I ran it through the embossing folder. So I've got 2 instant tags, really super easy, and makes a real interesting background. So I'm just gonna place them together and just stagger them slightly, and so it's almost like the one is peeking behind it. And the reason I put it behind this one is because once you start adding all these different elements, sometimes it gets super busy. So I found that you could still show some of the designer series paper, but then make it a little less busy by using a solid color on the front. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is use Stampin' Dimensionals. This is a really dimensional card. And I'll put that on our card front. Actually, I lied. Before I do that, I am gonna put my ribbon there. So I just have, this is our white frayed grosgrain ribbon. It's real pretty and soft. So all I'm gonna do here is just thread it through. And then using a cute little twine that I've got that coordinates with that seafoam color, all I'm gonna do is just tie a little knot across it. Like so. I think it gives it kind of a cute look. Now, if you don't wanna do that, you could also just thumb it through like a bookmark too. So you certainly have options. But I doubled it up, so we'll just trim everything off. And then we've got our tag for the front of the card. And we'll go ahead, peel off our dimensional backs and place it on there. Like so. Okay, so it's, you know, no real right or wrong way of doing that because it's very angled and easy. So next I'm gonna go ahead and stamp the greeting, and I just cut little pieces of cardstock. So these are not die cut or anything. It's like 1 inch by 2.5. And I'm going to use Poppin' Up to Say Hi. Hey, Michelle, yes, it is a way of reducing bulkiness by not tying a knot or a bow. Right here, I think she was talking about that. So that's another reason to try that. When you're mailing some of these cards, sometimes they can get a little bulky. So I stamped the greeting using the Melon Mambo, and I'm gonna go ahead and mount it to coordinating cardstock. Oops, that one's about out. I was thinking that was gonna happen, and it did. So we will go ahead and mount that to that. And then we'll go ahead and put it on the front of the card. So really the last part of this is just assembling. Put that like so. And then we'll put our toadstools on here. So again, there's no real rhyme or reason here, but I put one dimensional on each one of these tops, and I do those first. And then that way it helps position everything. So I'm gonna put one on the right, one on the left here. And then the stems that I cut out just a little bit ago, I'll use a mini dimensional at the bottom of each of these. And then you can simply position it and then have it kind of overlap to the top there. And if you want, you could secure it with a little dab of glue, but I think it'll stay without having to do that. But if you if you wanted to, you could add just a little dot there and stick it on there. It'll take a second to dry, but okay. Or you could even put a piece, just a little tiny piece of adhesive before you tacked it down. Easy peasy, right? Super easy. All right, so I lost my white piece. Oh yeah. What I would do again for this one though, is I would put a piece of white cardstock in the middle. It's a pretty dark color. Love this color. It's nice and springy. And today was a very nice day in Ohio, compared to what we've endured here in the last few weeks. So I hope you like this card. And just a reminder that if you comment on or share the video tonight, that you will be eligible to win one of the 2 cards that I make. So this is the first one here, very springy card. Coordinates nicely with the designer series paper. The second card is totally different. So what I decided to do was to pull out some more muted colors. And this is really pretty designer series paper called Nature's Sweetness. This has been in the catalog for some time, so it might look familiar to you, but I really love the gold accents. So one thing that I really like to do is to show the different parts of the designer series papers, because they're all very beautiful and different. And so this is a really cool layout to layer multiple pieces of designer series paper. And similar to what we did with the tags, where we kind of offset, we're doing the same thing here with the designer series paper. So we'll get started on this one. We'll show you how easy it is. So just like we did the last time, we will punch out one of our little toadstools. This time we're only gonna do one. So I'm only gonna ink up one. Try to conserve some paper. And then you could even, if you wanted, cut this down if you didn't want to waste paper. I hate wasting paper, you have noticed. And then we'll go ahead and put this in our punch. Punch it out like that. Hey, Sandy, you made it home. I think you made it home. Hopefully you're not driving. So for the stem on this one, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to use some of that designer series paper? So I'm going to use this. Not that you would see a toadstool with beautiful gold scripty stem, but I did think it was kind of a cool look for this card. So there's our little toadstool. And for the front of the card, another one of the expressions in this stamp set is just a little thank you, which I love, because who doesn't need a good thank you card? I'm using the gray granite. That's the color I'm using. That's a very nice neutral color. So we stamped our greeting there, and then we'll go ahead and put our toadstool on here. And this, because I put it on a small piece right here, you know, it's fine for it to stick out a little bit, but the stem might be a little bit long. Let's see. So, you know, you can always trim it a little bit if you want. I'm gonna make it just a little bit shorter. I'll do the same thing with the dimensional to adhere it. And then put it on like that. So that looks quite different, I think, than this card here. So real fast, easy assembly on this one. So the card base is the gray granite. So it's an 8.5 by 5.5 folded in half. And then I've got just a piece of the basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm gonna put that on the front, like so. And then these pieces here are about 2.5 by 4, I think is what they were. So, and again, you can use whatever side you like. I like the gold, just a little bit partial to that. And then for the back, I picked this piece here, and so it's 3 3/4 by 5. So I'll simply layer that to the white piece first. So you can see I'm using different patterns from the same pack. And then I will do that same kind of offset look here that I did. So we'll, just gotta make sure I have, this one has words on it, so I might wanna have it going the right direction, don't you think? So we got a little bit of this one tucking behind it, and we can go ahead and put that on the front of the card. So you'll have to tell me which one you like, which paper combination. I don't know. I really do like the gold. So, oops, I did forget one thing. Leave it to me. So I really like this gold twisted thread. And I'm gonna try to ever so delicately tuck it behind where I had my adhesive. Don't do that though. You wanna remember, you don't wanna do what Sherry does and have to tear your cards apart. All right. Okay, so I just have just a hint of gold there, and then we'll simply adhere this to the front. See, look, on the back of there I have another stamp. I like to reuse my paper and not throw it away. So very simple. And then for the inside, I've just got a 1/4 sheet of white here. And for this one, I'm gonna actually stamp in that same toadstool set. You can see there's multiple things. There's leaves and a little bug. So I thought, well, why not have like little miniature toadstools on the inside? So I'm stamping these in the gray. You like the gold one, Donna? You like this one better? I know, it's hard to pick sometimes. There's something about this script paper that I really like that one. So we'll go ahead and adhere that inside. So there's a little surprise on the inside. Very easy. And here's another variation of the same thing where I used 2 of the toadstools. So I don't know if you like 1 or 2. I don't like just the 1 actually, but anyway, so those are our 2 cards tonight. One other thing I wanted to show you that was cute. So at my January Mystery Hostess, one of the projects was a card using this set, and it was actually, this design came from Susie Brunk, so I can't take credit. I just changed the colors a little bit to not use pinks, so I used the Poppy Parade instead. But isn't that so cute? And then there's that same really cute designer series paper. So I thought that was really fun. Susie's cute idea, but you know, these are the kinds of things that we make at our Mystery Hostess. So they're fun, lots of fun projects. Okay, again, remember if you comment on or share this video that you might win one of these cards. And I do thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and that it stays warm wherever you are. And hope to see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great night.